Hi, good afternoon. It's me, Cherry. Today I'm going to discuss one of the literary theory, and that is Marxist criticism. Let us go first to the historical background of this theory. It was begun in 19th century that as a pragmatic view of history that offered the working class of society an opportunity to change the world. It was initially inspired by Hegel's philosophical framework of absolute idealism, which briefly infers that our sense of self and our comprehension of the world are both shaped by the interaction of opposites, so we do not position ourselves in a position, but rather as an all-inclusive whole. It offered humanity a social, political, economic, and cultural understanding of reality, society, and individual. Karl Marx is the root of Marxist literary theory. He was born in Germany 1818. His writing became the basis of Marxism. He was the 19th German philosopher that became part of the Young Hegelians and later the Communist League. Marx is revered as one of the most influential socialist thinkers of the 19th century. Marx gradually rejected theology and turned to materialism as a mindset and worldviews. According to Marx, the dominant class or the upper class to control art, literature, and ideologies, meaning the rich has the power so they can control the world. Some of the notable works of Karl Marx are the German Ideology, 1846, the Communist Manifesto, 1848, and Das Kapital, 1867. Friedrich Engels was Marx's best friend. He shared Marx's social beliefs and provided financial support as well intellectual while Marx developed his theories. Some of notable works by Friedrich Engels are The Condition of Working Class in England, 1844, and also he co-authored the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx in 1848. So, what is Marxism? Marxist criticism all about? It is a type of criticism in which literary works are viewed as a product of work and whose practitioners are emphasize the role of class and ideology as they reflect, propagate, and even challenge the prevailing social order, rather than viewing texts as repositories for hidden meanings. So what is Communist Manifesto all about? It states that the history of all existing society is the history of the class struggle. It also declared that capitalists or the upper class had successfully enslaved the working class or the proletariat through economic policies and production of foods. The economic system determined the social relations, ethics, morality, and political structure. And because of this, communism plays a major role in this theory because communism would be classless, stateless, human society erected on a common ownership and the principle from each according to its ability and according to its need. And capitalism is the richer become poor and the poor become poorer. What is the philosophical foundation of Marxian approach? Marxist advocates that the struggle between the two economic classes is a true fact. The exploitation of the working class can come to an end in regard to their capacity to resist the exploitation done by the capitalists. In the one of the greatest novels, Les Miserables, is talk about the clashing through between the two economic class, the upper and the working class. The concepts or the masses idea of society is constituted by base, the material means of production, distribution, and exchange, and a superstructure, which is the cultural world of ideas, art, literature, religion, education, law, and so on. Marxist theory argues rather that the way we think, the way we experience the world around us are conditioned by the way the economy is organized. Economic and social institutions affect all aspects of life, including art and literature. All the intellectual and artistic production are the product of this condition. In other words, all intellectual and literary production is ideological. Since literature represents ideology, Marxist critics see it as a way to understand social structures. They look for political ideas and ideologies in a text and explore how society and economic forces influence literature. What are the principles of Marxist criticism? Number one, it promotes the idea that literature should be a tool in revolutionary struggle. And number two, it attempts to clarify the relationship of literary work to social reality. And number three, it is political in nature. And number four, it aims to arrive at an interpretation of literary text in order to define the political dimension of the literary work. So, what are some points that a Marxist literary critic considers when analyzing a text? First, literature expresses ideas, beliefs, and values of a culture. Then literature reveals power struggles, sexual power, economic power, social power, and so on, and how this operates with what consequences. And number three reveals how the author, readers, and characters demonstrate an awareness or lack of awareness of their economic and social situation and what oppresses them. Literature and authors manipulate readers into sympathizing rather than critiquing the dominant and oppressive social order. So, what are the strengths of this theory? Like archetypal criticism, this theory encourages a careful reading of a text. It also does not limit the reader to view the text in isolation, but allows the reader to think about the text in its social, historical, and current context. So, the weaknesses of this theory, the main concern some readers may have about this theory is that it only examines a limited aspect of the text. Some people felt threatened by the focus on ideology. It dismisses the beauty of writing and does not allow the reader to simply enjoy the text. So, how do you apply Marxist criticism in your literary work? Here are some questions to ask. What is the economic status of the characters? Then, what happens to them as a result of this status? Then, what are the conflicts in the work connected to the struggle between the have and the have-nots, the owners and the workers, the rich and the poor? What are the values of each social in the work? Then, what is the author's analysis of class relation? And last, what are the social forces that affect the author's writing or the text marketing and reception? So those are some questions that we should consider. Are you going to use Marxist literary criticism in your literary criticism? Next time, I'm going to discuss more of literary criticism. See you next time. Goodbye.